Okay, let's do chapter 5, using SPSS to analyze frequency data. Okay, now you probably haven't gone to the chi-square part yet, but chi-square is basically the way to calculate frequencies. Okay, there are two kind of chi-squares. There is the chi-square goodness of fit test, and there is the chi-square independence test. Okay, now the data set 5.1 will do the fitness, the goodness of fit test first. Okay, now, the owner of a family amusement center is trying to better understand the interests of the families who come to enjoy time at the fun center. He's hoping that if he understands the likes and interests of his patrons, so he can improve his facility and hopefully improve business. To gain better understanding of the activities family enjoy, he offers 75 families a choice of one $5 coupon for one of 3 activities: bowling, mini golf, or arcade. All right. Okay, so he had no reason to blah 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 blah. Okay, something like this. All right, so then the data follows. So you can see that the activities are here. The number of families chose to do the activity is here. Okay, and then this 3 number adds up together, they should get 75. Okay, now what you need to do is go to SPSS, refer to the previous lecture on telling you how to use the CUNY desktop on the SPSS. Now, if you cannot gain access to the CUNY desktop, you should contact the library, or alternatively, you can download a trial version of the SPSS for 1 month. Okay, which is actually exactly you need it from week 3 to week 6, so it's about right. All right. Okay. Now let's take a look at the SPS. I have the SPS open already here. You can see that there's a data view and there is the variable view. Okay, so the one you want to go to is the variable view first. Okay. Now let's see. We need to code our variables. So enter the word activity in row 1. Okay. Activity, and then down here, and then we got frequency. Okay. Okay, and now set the decimals to 0 here for both of them, right? And then now let's go down and see what else we need to do. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger so I can see, so you guys can see also. All right, and now the next step is to code our variables. Click on the box down on the value, okay, and column in the activity row, values. Okay, a gray button, blah 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 blah, is going to, okay, I don't think that is, I think there is some issues in the actual thing. Okay, the values here, so now this is going to pop up. Okay, so we're going to say 1, and this will be golf. Okay, and then click add. So 1 is now going to be coded as golf, and 2 is going to be coded as bowling. And then you click add, and 3 is going to be arcade, and then click add, and now click OK. Okay. Activity, frequencies. Okay, so we're gonna leave the frequencies alone. Okay, is there anything else? Okay, now let's switch to the data view. Okay, so here you will enter the frequencies. Okay, so the activities here is 1, that's golf, and then 2, and that would be bowling, and 3 here would be arcade. And you just enter the corresponding number 35, 23, 17. Okay, now there's one thing here. Let me see. Oh yeah, over here in this button. If you sorry. Now if you click this back and forth, you'll see that the activities here is going to switch back and forth between 1, 2, 3 or the actual coding. Okay. Now let's go down and analyze the data. Okay, now go to the data view page, which we are already on, and then choose data. A pop-up is going to appear, and we need to weight cases. Hold on a second. All right, now let's weight the cases. So I'm going to maximize this and go to data and go down to weight cases. And I think, let's see, your frequency. Okay, so weight case by selecting frequency. And then you just weight cases by frequency variables. Okay, and click OK. Weighted by frequency, and over here you'll says, but I don't need this. So over here you'll see that it's weight on. Okay, then click OK. Okay, so we're done with that. Now go to analyze data, and then go to data view, go to the analyze data, and then go to non-parametric tests, and then legacy dialog followed by chi-square. Let's see. Analyze, non-parametric tests, data C dialog, chi-square. Okay, test. Okay, now what does it say next to do? So you want to put the activity on the right. So activity on the right. And what else? Okay, now what else should we check? We should have all expected values, all categories equal. Okay, let's see if it's already what we need. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then now I guess you just hit OK. Okay, so this is a non-parametric test for chi-square, and then let's see if everything matches up what we're supposed to say over here. Okay, so this is exactly, well, this looks exactly the same as what you see over here. Okay, so that's good. Okay, and down here, this is the chi-square statistics. Okay, now the degree freedom is 2, and the significance is 0.35. So this is the p-value. Okay, now if it's less than 0.05, then it's significant. Now is it less than 0.05? Yes, it is. Therefore, it means that this is a significant result. Okay. All right. Now, what can we then write in this? Okay, so then you can report the findings by APA guideline. The format that we use in psychological research is we use x to the second power as chi-square, and then our degree of freedom, as we said, is 2. Okay, and then we need to report the p-value, which is 0.035. Okay, so then what you will want to say is this thing over here. The family showed significant preferences along the 3 activities at the family amusement center. chi-square parentheses 2 equals 6.72. So that's this number over here, and comma p equals 0.035. Now let's take a look at the chi-square test of independence. Okay, now basically what the chi-square test of independence does is it allows us to examine how two variables impact our observed frequencies. Okay, now so basically it's trying to say something if two levels of the variables are different compared to one another, and if there is a differences in not in the preference but just in the actual observed frequency. So this is not the same as this is not the same as the goodness of fit. The goodness of fit is basically telling you like what is the preference, and if the preference is different than that you observe in randomness. Okay, basically. Okay, so data set 5.2, the chi-square test of independence. All right, so I'm just going to read this. An owner of a small but rapidly growing accounting firm is thinking of moving to a new location. Her business is currently located in the heart of the city, but she knows that several of her employees live in the suburbs. She is wondering whether it is better to keep her business in the city or move it closer to the suburbs. She thinks it is best to poll her employees to see if they have a strong preference for the new location. She also thinks that married versus single employees might have different preferences. To better understand the situation and to gain a better idea as to where she should relocate her business, she asks 50 single employees whether they would prefer to remain working in the city or work in the suburbs. She asked the same of 50 married employees. Their responses are presented in the table below. Okay, so you can see that out of the 50 single people, 28 prefers to be in the city and 22 prefer to be in the suburbs. And out of the 50 people who are married, 17 prefers being in the city and 33 prefer to be in the suburbs. So basically what the chi-square test of independence would do is to compare whether or not the single people versus married people, do they have a difference in the city versus suburbs kind of working locations. Okay, so how do we do this in SPSS? Okay, so again, we need to go to the variable view. Okay, let's go to the variable view, and then you want to enter it like this: status, region, frequency. Okay, and then the decimals to 0. Okay, status, region, frequency. Okay. Status, region, frequency. Okay, and that's, oh, we don't need that, clear. Okay, so let's make this 0 decimals. Okay, I think we're good with that. Okay, what's next? Okay, once completed the variables, the process is very similar, blah, 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 blah. Okay, okay, so type in, so under the value, type 1 in value single and 2 for married. Okay, so status label values. Okay, so 1 is single, which makes sense. Okay, how ironic. Okay, 2 married. Let's hope that. All right, so click on OK. Okay, now what's next? So we did that, we did that. Okay, now the next one, the region, we need to encode this too. So what did they want? The first one they want, sorry, the first one they want the single, let me go down and take a look. Okay, so, okay, so 1 is city and 2 is suburbs. Okay. So 1 is city, add, and 2 is suburbs. Okay, add, click OK. Now, what's next? Okay, now we have them coded basically, and now we can just go to the data view. Let's go to the data view. Okay, so status 1, okay, region 1. Now, when you do this, you'll see that there's a single city, and then let's say, how does your paper want to read? Okay, so single and suburbs. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so first row is single people who prefers the city. Second one is single people prefers the suburbs. Third one is married people that prefer the city. Fourth one is married people that prefer the suburbs. Okay, okay, so 28, 22, 17, 33. Let me look at it again. Okay, so 28, 22, 17, 33. Now, what is next? Okay, so we have to weight the cases and we have to weight them by frequency. So just like the same as before, data, weight cases by frequency. There you go. Click OK. We can this, we don't need this. And then now over here it'll say weight on. Okay, now let's go to the next one. So go to descriptive statistics and then go to cross tabs. And then, yep, analyze descriptive statistics and then cross tabs. Okay, rows, columns. All right, now let's say which one goes to the rows and which one go to the columns. Okay, status go to the row and then the region go to the column. Okay, status, row, region, column. And is that it? Okay. Let me see if there's anything else that you need to put in. Okay, I think there's something else here. And then click OK. I guess you can click OK here. Ooh, hold on a second. I think there is something that I did wrong. Okay, let me go back to this again. I think statistics, we're supposed to click on this. Okay, so chi-square, and there's something else. Chi-square and phi and Kramer's V. Okay. Oh, come on. Chi-square, Kramer's V. Hit continue and then hit OK. Okay. So cross tabs. Now let's just take a look to see like if we have everything that we're supposed to have in here. Okay, so what are the results? Okay, so over here, so let me just kind of tell you what, so this tells you how many n there are people, how many n meaning how many number of people in there, and then the valid cases, so there are 100 valid cases. And down here, where you're just seeing that this is exactly, it tells you that single people that prefers living in cities is married people that prefers living in a city, single people that prefer living in the suburbs, and married people that prefer living in the suburbs. And then this is kind of their subtotal, okay, and that's it. So all the numbers matches what that says on your textbook. Okay, now down here are the results. Okay, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. So the chi-square for this is this number over here. So 4.889. Okay, and the degree of freedom is 1. And then the p-value is 0.027. Now this is less than 0.05, so this will make it significant. Okay, now, so that's the only 3 numbers that you really need to know. You don't really need to know anything else. Now, the symmetric measures, the only one you really need to know is the phi value, and that is 0.221. Okay. Now, we can just interpret the results here. Okay, now because we have the significant chi-square and the p-value here that you see, where is it? Okay, so over here, 0.27. Okay, so that means that there is a relationship between status and region. So look back in the data table, the single employee preferred to remain in the city, while the married employee that would prefer work in the suburbs. Okay, so what would be the interpretation? Well, the interpretation is down here. Okay, so the analysis showed a significant relationship between marital status and location preference. Chi-square, parentheses. Actually, this is a typo. Okay, so this thing over here should say 1 because the degree of freedom should go in here. And then as you can see clearly, so the degree of freedom is 1. Okay, so this is a mistake that is in the textbook. Okay, I'm just pointing that out. So you make sure that the degree of freedom is 1 when you look at it. Should be the same as what is saying on your table. Okay, so 4.889. Okay, so 4.89. So textbook rounded up to the hundredths place. And then the p-value equals 0.27. So that's this number over here. Okay. And then, so what is the conclusion? Well, the conclusion is that the married employee would prefer to work in the suburbs, whereas single employee prefer to live in the city, work in the city. Okay. All right, that's it. Practice problems. If you want, you can do it. You don't really need to. All right.